Hello and howdy ho everyone, Foxy Games here and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV full story playthrough. In the previous episode we learned a little bit more about what makes a warrior of light. We also learned that Elidibus now has Ardbert's body, which is not good. Not good in the least. We are going to be heading back to the Crystarium soon, but first we of course have to speak with Runar. Runar appears to be in characteristically high spirits. Well, that's good. Foxy, it is so good to see you. You've arrived at a most opportune time. I was preparing a pot of my famous stew. Come, I will ready a place for you. I'm sorry, Runar, but we haven't the... Please, I insist. It will only take a minute. My apologies, Foxy. It seems our return to the Crystarium will be delayed. But perhaps only for a bit, if you assist me with my work. I say work, but it is rather more a chore. I must clean my chambers here in Slitherbow from top to bottom. If you'd be so kind as to go and fetch a broom from Asgeir, we might finish before Runar is done cooking. Really? The Warrior of Light is sweeping? Well, I guess so. Huh, that's weird. I wonder why I can't actually pick up this quest. Ah, it's a crafting quest, that's why. Not that I intended on doing it, just interested. A broom for Master Matoya? I cannot imagine why she would have such need of a thing, but here you are. It is old, but sturdy and sure to suffice. God, considering the quests in this place, I expected it to say, oh, this broom is falling apart, so you'll have a limited number of sweeps before it breaks. Ugh. God, I hate Raktika. I trust Asgeir was able to find a broom for us. A battered broom. This well-worn broom has seen many a spring and summer in Slitherbow, swishing and sweeping, sweeping and swishing. Well worn. Good. This would prove difficult otherwise. Though I must say, I think I did rather well for not having a broom thus far. Yes, well, you weren't buried beneath a veritable avalanche of books when you entered, were you? Right. Anyway, it is time I finished cleaning with the help of that broom. Are you gonna go full on Matoya and enchant it? You didn't honestly think I'd do it the old-fashioned way. That broom is more than capable of sleeping by itself, or rather it will be. Ahem. Time to rise to swish and sweep, a tidy chamber you must keep. To this task you shall be bound until no dust is to be found. In this one particular respect, I've no objections to following in Master Matoya's footsteps. In future, I may need you to remind me the pursuit of knowledge does not preclude other equally important duties, such as maintaining clean quarters for said pursuit. I will dearly miss this place. These people. Master Matoya, pardon the interruption, but the stew is ready. Is something troubling you? You've been rather quiet. No, everything is fine, I assure you. It has been a long day, is all. I see. Y'shtola, thank goodness you're still here. Alphino. Alphino, I thought you were following Artbert. I was, though I'm sad to say I lost track of him shortly after entering these woods. He seems determined to traverse every ilm of Norvrant in his quest to spread the truth of the Warriors of Light in the Flood. And it seems news of your address at the Crystarium precedes him at every destination, making his task all the more simple. It remains to be seen to what end he encourages the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. But there is no denying that his words have struck a chord with many. Well, we're all agreed that this is just another Ascian ploy, yes? They've commandeered corpses before and to no good end. I see no reason to think that this time is any different, especially when it's that of a fallen warrior of light. I doubt we'll learn more if we remain a step behind. His next destination is, in all likelihood, Elidibus. Alice, are you certain you should be here? If you're concerned about Halric and the others, you needn't be. Their treatment is going well, but progress is slow and exhausting, for all of us. The best thing I can do now is let them rest, so I believe we were about to discuss how to arrange a meeting with our would-be Warrior of Light. Before visiting any towns or villages, what the hell is that? Oh, it's the fucking crystal from the Aetheryte. Ardbert would hunt down and slay a nearby Sin Eater to earn the locals' trust. Our best chance of getting ahead of him is to find one before he does. Thankfully, Thancred and Reen are returned from the Empty and have taken up the search. Reen believeth one may lurk behind the boughs of Woven Oath. Then that is where we will start our search. Master Matoya! A warm bowl of stew will be awaiting your return. I look forward to it. Poor guy doesn't want her to leave. And who would? It's hard not to love Y'shtola. Hey, you two. I can sense no other Sin Eaters in the area. I hope this means Ardbert will be coming this way soon. Well, it's good to see you out of the Empty.
If you were hoping to vent your frustrations on our Issa friend here, I can only apologize.
Few as they are now, it took us no time at all to track it down.
That suits our purpose perfectly. Now we need only wait for Ardbert to arrive.
Weren't you two meant to be attending to the Empty?
We were, and are, but we can hardly ignore the rest of the world, so we thought we might see how things were coming along. From what we can gather, the answer is strangely.
Right now, we think we can do more good here.
It is heartening to have all present.
Indeed. We will be glad of the additional hands should matters escalate.
Our quarry has come. It seems I've lost this particular race. Although I suppose it's only fair. When we first met, it was I who outpaced you. Ravana, was it? But where are my manners? I wouldn't be here were it not for you, and I have yet to say a word of thanks.
Extend a friendly fist, or ask if he wishes Seto was here. No, let's do this.
Arm giving you trouble? You should have it examined.
I thought you were supposed to be good at this.
Very well. Let us forego this pretense. After all, it was never you that I needed to deceive. Yes, it is I, Elidibus. Through your time in Emet-Selk's imitation of our home, I dare say you have gained a better understanding of my role since last we met. Not that it matters.
We understand your role, emissary, but not your goal. What is it that you seek to achieve?
I seek to enact the will of the Convocation, of course. If it helps you to think of me as but another Ascian, no different in nature or purpose from the rest, you are welcome to do so.
Once, I would have said your goal was destruction alone. Now I understand that you fight for something you love, just as we do. Yet though we seem doomed to clash, I bid you consider Emet-Selk's final words. Remember that we once lived, he said. Had he not seen some glimmer of hope in our kind, I do not believe he would have spoken thus.
None better understood your plight than he. His words must surely be worthy of your consideration.
Emet-Selk. How very unlike you to err so gravely. That one should stray at the end of so onerous a path is understandable, but I had thought you above such weakness. Mayhap you thought the same. Would that I had been present to offer correction. But I shall do so now, as is my duty, and return all to its proper course. As for you, look at yourselves. Look at your history. Look back 100 short years to how your greatest warriors were undone. And now, at but a word from me, you raise your hands in answer like the puppets you are. Naught has changed. You fail, and you fail, and you learn nothing. Allow that which is most important to slip through your fumbling fingers like so many grains of sand, again and again and again, and you would remember us. You do forget yourselves. There is no common ground to be found between you and I, nor do I require any. I have my duty.
Wait!
Well, we have confirmed the identity of our foe at least. And 'tis safe to say his objective is the rejoining.
But we still have no idea how playing the part of a warrior of light will further his cause, nor why he would spur others to do the same.
Another visit to the Tempest may shed some light upon these mysteries. Whether we are to exchange words or blows with Elidibus at our next meeting, the fact remains, we know too little. Ere our paths cross again, I would learn more of the world that once was, and of Elidibus himself. In this, we would be best served going directly to his home, much as Emmett Selk came to ours.
Though I see the wisdom in thy suggestion, the Amarot we visited is but a phantom born of Emmett Selk's memory. I fear it will teach us little that we do not already know.
I quite agree. Yet the ruins of the actual city remain unexplored. Given the vastness of the Tempest, I should not be surprised were there more such structures like to those in which the Ondo reside.
If there's aught to be learned I want to know, or for want of a better option, or as long as you don't make me do any more chores. Let's be polite.
A woman after my own heart.
Assuming we are all in agreement, then I suggest we first pay a visit to the Ondo. If anyone can tell us where more ruins are to be found, it is them.
Let's have a quick chat with everyone before we go. Would that I had found the words to deny Elidibus. We are so much more than he believes us to be, and yet... Am I the only one who sees the irony in Ardbert calling us puppets? No, you are not. I hate to leave him like that. Gods, they can't even let a man rest in peace. Thancred told me what La Habrea did to him. I can't imagine how he's feeling right now. Disdain and obfuscation. What is thy true design, emissary? Alphino has the right of it. Let us pay a visit to the Ondo. We should speak with Tolzath first. As chieftain, he is doubtless privy to a great many secrets. God, these fucking beast tribe names. Perhaps we might look in on Pa's own while we're in the area. Don't be shy now. This place feels much less ominous than the first time we were here. Then again, we did have the shadow of your impending death hanging over us. Yeah, it was a thing. Mayhap we shall find the secrets we seek in these depths, should their keepers consent to aid us. Well, they did before. I'm glad to have the opportunity to visit the Tempest again. It's so lovely here, like a different world entirely. Well, don't get used to it. The place is gonna flood again eventually. The last time we were here, the Ondo sent us to slay a massive creature. 'Twas as large as Leviathan, twice as angry, and... Yes, of course I jest. It was only half as large. I wonder if you're talking about that Fate boss that I mentioned a few episodes ago. I have sent for no finless ones. Perhaps you have come seeking something of us. You could say that. Ruins which your kind have yet to explore, I see. I know of one such place. Alas, under these circumstances, I'm afraid we can spare none to guide you there. And what circumstances are these? Rather than hunt for their own meals, the Benthos have pillaged our stores of Maniri liver. They must be replenished with haste. The Benthos, a particularly violent tribe of Ondo, if I recall. A band of bottom feeders. We all lost much in the flood, but while others work to rebuild, they resort to thievery and murder. Revenge, they call it, when they prey upon your kind. But do not be fooled. They care not who they harm. Would that we had the warriors to challenge them. This is not the first time they have stolen from us, but there is no resource more precious than liver. All must dedicate themselves to the hunt. Unless, of course, we were to reclaim the livers for you. It seems a fitting payment for vital information, does it not? Moreover, one could argue that by employing Bismarck to reach these depths, thereby driving back the waters, we are in part responsible for the deeds of those driven to desperate end by the changing climes. One good turn and all that, or we certainly can't leave them like this, or could we not simply hunt Maniri ourselves? Go with the top one. I thought you might say that. You'd never been one to miss an opportunity to help. Reclaiming the stores it is, then. We would be grateful beyond words if you did. The Benthos have surely taken the livers back to Flounder's Floor, but be warned, there will be no shortage of guards waiting to spear intruders. Then we will have care not to draw their attention, shall we? Flounder's Floor. Wow, that is a good distance away. It's a good thing we can fly. Well, there's Alpha now. Nervous? Me? Not at all. It's a bit dark, though, isn't it? Definitely not haunted, though. Certainly not. Alpha, now you really need to get over this fear of ghosts. They're not much of a threat one-on-one, but Tulsa was right about their numbers. If we fight them all, we'll be here a fortnight. Well, that's okay. I have a plan. It's called Operation Fuck You, I Can Fly. Sacred. These aren't the livers, but they're certainly stolen from somewhere, unless wheat has started growing on the seafloor last I checked. Fuck it, we'll take it anyway. Thrusting your hand into each sack in turn, you find that all are filled with wheat down to the bottom. You also find raw wheat is unpleasantly pointy. Ouch. Well, I guess we're not actually taking it. We're not heartless, I suppose. Clammy cask, that sounds nasty. What is that on top of it? Oh, it's a fruit of some kind. An orange, I guess. On cursory sniff, you detect the faint aroma of fresh oranges, a far cry from the rather memorable scent of Maniri liver. These boxes are filled with assorted vegetables. Liver is not a vegetable. Well, I'm glad you're here to tell us these things, game. Ah, Urianjay. Reen scaled the wall with remarkable swiftness. Thancred taught her well. Huh. She can climb better than we can. Which is to say, she can actually climb. A shoebill. Shoebill is staring at Reen. Just staring. I haven't forgotten why we're here, I swear. Only, this bird hasn't taken its eyes off me since I found it. I think it might be lonely. I've said this before, there's a theory about that shoebill. Skip ahead a few minutes if you don't want spoilers. Actually, you know what, never mind, I'm not... Never mind, I'm not gonna say it. If I remember later, I'll say it, because you wouldn't think it, but it's incredibly relevant to what's been happening in this expansion. And I can't say anything else without revealing something. From the squelching noises they make when prodded and their vile stench, you conclude that these bags are bursting with livers. Brilliant. Are those them? It can't be anything else. Perhaps you've deduced this already, but it seems the Benthos have been raiding collusion storehouses as well as those of the Ondo. Oranges, pumpkins, wheat. But we can discuss this after we see the livers safely back to Tolsath. It wouldn't do to keep them in suspense. Anything new to say, friends? So the Benthos have been stealing supplies from the collusions. I have a feeling that there's more to this, right? I'm glad you had better luck than I did. I spent the whole time fighting one Benthos after another, and I didn't fight a single one. To venture ashore and steal from the collusions entaileth unconscionable risk, and yet there is no denying the truth of our eyes. I know it sounds strange, but there really was a bird in those caves. Oh no, I saw it. Did you happen to see a bird while you were in the caves? Reed insists that there was one, but how? I want to talk about it so bad. Depending on whether or not I cut that part out, there is a theory about what that bird actually is, but I'm not going to get into it. I am relieved to see you unspeared. Miniary livers. This bulging sack makes a truly heinous squelching noise as you heft it over your shoulder. Our precious livers. I knew you would not fail. We also found all manner of foodstuffs from Kalusia in the founder's floor. Tell me, Tolsath, does that seem odd to you? It is brazen, to be sure. I'm reminded of rumors I've heard recently concerning a rash of thefts from collusion warehouses. The perpetrators enter in the dead of night and are gone before anyone has realized what has happened. The Yulmoran army has been investigating, but thus far to no avail. Perhaps the reason they have struggled so is that their quarry is of the sea. The true question, then, is what we mean to do about it. Much as I would like to proceed to enter the ruins without further delay, we cannot allow the Benthos to carry on as they are. If I may, I believe that the ruins are in fact key to the Benthos' plans. Is that so? These ruins, which lie deep within the Illuminated Land, are a recent discovery. We have seen signs that the Benthos are preparing to claim them with all haste. We could not fathom why, but in light of the knowledge that they have been stockpiling resources, it is clear that their queen will soon give birth. They require space to raise their young, and food for both queen and hatchlings to thrive. Well, we can hardly fault them for that. Under normal circumstances, perhaps, but conditions in the Tempest are far from suitable for spawning, its resources barely able to sustain our current population. There's only one reason they would disregard this. They seek to build an army, and with it take revenge upon the Finless. It is not a surprise. They came to us not long ago, seeking allies for the cause. We rebuffed them, of course. The suffering of others will not serve as balm to their own. Their queen, however, desires only bloodshed, and will gladly send her children to die in our stead. If they're planning to wage war, that changes matters considerably. Indeed. I doubt that this can be resolved without violence, but perhaps with a show of force we can convince them to see reason before the die is cast. I'd rather not risk your people in the attempt. If we travel to the Illuminated Land, is there a way we might identify the ruins ourselves? Yes. Once you reach its depths, go deeper still. You will see a monstrous structure there upon the sea floor. That you have come to us now is the will of the Ancient Ones. They have guided you here that you may drive out the usurpers, those who seek to use their magnificent creations with vile purpose. I have no doubt that they will show you the way forward. I'm afraid that the dead do not speak quite so clearly. Nevertheless, we shall try not to disappoint. I don't know, Ardbert spoke pretty clearly. If what we seek lieth deeper still, beyond Emerald, I would call upon the assistance of another. Another? It doesn't feel all that honorable or heroic to strike first, but if it leads to less bloodshed in the end, hey. The winner is usually the one who strikes first. Well, I say this, except the Garleans have almost always struck at us first, and we almost always beat them back. The will of the ancients, if only it were so simple. Why do these problems always turn out to be so much more complex than they seem? Couldn't we have a simple, straightforward adventure for once? The good guy's good, the bad guy's bad, no drama or intrigue, and it all ends with tea and tarts. If only, right? Wouldn't be nearly as interesting that way, you know that. You need not believe in the will of the ancients to receive of their guidance. Like the tide and the current, it is there always. Is it wrong of me to be a bit excited? I know the circumstances are grave, but imagine what those ruins might hold. I would not care for what happened in Limsa to be repeated a world away. The Benthos know not what they do. Riange. Though our course hath been decided, to pursue it we must needs beseech the aid of a friend. I speak of Bismarck. Pray follow me to Sullen, that we might seek an audience with him once more. Huh. Have you found a way to walk on water, Riange? Maybe you can get Alphino to teach you to swim. God, that would be humiliating. Oh my good gracious, why the fuck do I have to go so goddamn far? From here we press onward to the Isle of Ken. I myself shall proceed on foot. You perfected your technique, then? Just so. The water will be as glass beneath my feet, and provideth purchase fragile yet true. Watch closely. Oh, I certainly shall. Forgive me, but would it not be easier to perfect your swimming technique? Aye, 'twould be a pity if you drowned, truly. Oh, hush, I'm sure it'll be brilliant. Go on, Riange, show us what you can do. He's done it! Incredible! Oh no. Riange! Oh, for the love of... Mine apologies. The technique requireth the purest of focus, and mine 'twas lacking. To perfect this magic, I went so far as to deal with the Fwath, and with their aid, mine efforts finally met with success, albeit on a single occasion. I know not why I cannot repeat it. I thought I saw you waver a bit toward the end there. Perhaps you're simply tired. Thancred? It's nothing to worry about, only a dizzy spell. Though it may not be wise to go for another swim just now. Thankfully, we have an alternative. A wonderful little invention, I'm certain you'll agree. I love you, Y'shtola. Never change. Do you think those two are really alright? Perhaps we should wait a moment to rest. What sort of dealings with the Floth, I wonder? Oh geez, I can only imagine. Before you make some quip about age catching up with me, you'd be out of breath too if you had to drag Urianger out of the sea without so much as a warm-up. You're right. I must admit I'd be keen to attempt to walk on water myself. Although I know what Alice would say. I'll stick to swimming, thank you very much. I will petition Bismarck's aid on our behalf. Let us pray my diplomacy proveth more effective than mine experimental magics. You speak with the voice of the king, little neighbors. I will not deny you. As before, if you seek what sleeps beneath the sea, I will be your guide. Thy kindness is as boundless as the depths, Serene One. Before we depart, however, I would ask a favor. After our last flight, I found many creatures clinging to me. I am itchy. Remove them, and I will take you below. With haste shall it be done. So, did he agree? Aye, though I agreed to a favor in kind. Regrettably, 'tis not one I possess the power to grant. Bismarck hath asked us to cleanse his underbelly of barnacles. Alas, one must needs dive beneath the surface to do so. Even if I could muster the power to walk upon it, it would avail me not. Oh, for heaven's sake, is that all? Foxy and I are more than capable of that. With the Kojin's blessing, we'll have done with it in moments, and better that than standing here and listening to this nonsense. I'll take the right, you the left. Now go. You're in a mood, Alice. I am in your debt. Think nothing of it, friend. Oh, Urianger, he was such a non-character in A Realm Reborn. He's certainly come into his own. None of us is as much of a match for Alice when she's like this. Aside from Y'shtola, perhaps. Oh yeah. Mine apologies. This venture hath not proceeded as smoothly as I had hoped. It's whatever. Psst, I think Thancred's embarrassed. Embarrassed for what? It's a minor miracle that we accomplish anything at all, wouldn't you say? Yes! Yes, I'm perfectly well recovered, thank you. Oh, he's embarrassed because he also felt weak. Alright, let's get under the water then. That's a pretty big barnacle. After a good deal of prying from various angles, you dislodge the barnacles. Barnacle, there's one. There's another. Another. Where's number 3? There it is. Well, just as Alice said, nothing to it. Anything new to say? Would you please keep an eye on Thancred and Urianger? I'm still not convinced they're alright. Apologies for sitting this one out, but it did seem more appropriate for those of you with the Kojin's blessing to handle it. I mean, obviously. I take it you finished. Alice's back. The power to breathe underwater seems most convenient. Mayhap the Kojin might be persuaded to grant me it when I return to the source. I can swim, after all. Oh, can you? Well, that was disgusting. I pray will not be required to attend to any other matters of personal hygiene. Oh, it wasn't that bad, Alice. We didn't have to scrub his teeth. Thine efforts are most sincerely appreciated. I will inform Bismarck that we may depart without further delay. Much, much better. Thank you, little neighbors. I remember, a long time ago, another did this favor for me. After the flood, when I chose this spot for my slumber, he came and made a home on my back. Ken was his name, hence the island's name. When I grew itchy, I stirred, but he was not afraid. No, he asked me what was wrong. I told him of the creatures clinging to my belly, and he dove into the water. He helped me. He was my friend. He told me he wished to live in peace, away from his people and their wars. This I understood. I treasured our time together, brief though it was, brief though it always is. But I remember him, and how he laughed when we flew. I remember when he slept. I too slept that day, and many days since. But the light fades and the darkness returns. Ken sleeps, but in memory he laughs, and together we fly. And I am here. I am awake. It feels good to speak and to be heard again. A shame others cannot understand me. If thou art willing to learn, I would gladly teach thee the language of men. Thank you, little friend, but it is time I grant you your request. But first I will take flight to cleanse my body and prepare. The dive will be swift, and I would not have you struck by errant debris. So this island was named for a man. How easily the past is forgotten. He passed not even 100 years ago, yet the truth has slipped from history, like so many grains of sand. Might I have some explanation of what he just said, or shall we all stand about making vague and mysterious allusions? While he maketh ready to deliver us unto our destination, Bismarck bade us wait for him on the shores of Kalusha. That's all. I feel as though there was more to it. Indeed there was, but it hath no bearing on the task at hand. I should be glad to share the rest with you anon. Fine. Later then. He's enjoying having this one-up over her. If Bismarck requires time to prepare, might I suggest a short respite? For Urianger and Thancred in particular. I require no such thing. I am the perfect picture of health. Mine was but a momentary lapse in concentration. Worry not on my account. You mustn't push yourself so. Please rest, from me. Oh, all right, if you insist. You too, Foxy. You've been running yourself ragged. Yes, ma'am. Let's not argue with Reen. In that case, I leave the old man in your care. The rest of us will meet you at the Split Hall anon. The old man. Oh. Word of advice. Never let it show. When she realizes she struck a nerve, she remembers. By the gods, she remembers. In any case, if we must be made to rest, I know a place in Sullen that's better for it than most. Come with me. Y'shtola is a bit of a savage, that's for sure. With age cometh wisdom, or so I pray. You guys aren't even that old. What is Thancred, like 30? You know what? Let's find out. Thancred's 32, according to what I'm reading here in a quick Google search. How old is Urianger? Urianger's younger than him by 2 years. He's 29. I mean, I know he's an Ellison and they're fucking giraffes, but, like, he looks older. How is Thancred younger? No, how is Thancred older than Urianger? This thought kind of fucks me up. May as well have a seat. We wouldn't want our elderly knees to give out. Like, if Thancred's older than I'm old, he's as old as I am. To hear her speak, you'd think I'm on my deathbed. By the 12, I wish that girl wouldn't worry so much. Thy countenance belies thy words, Master Thancred. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Let the record know that I am here under protest. Though I can't say I mind the view. We've sure done a hell of a thing for this place, haven't we? And if the abundance of anglers is any indication, even an amateur might land an impressive catch. Shall we try our hands at it? Help! Someone! Quickly! Oh dear. It's Nightshade! We was attacked on the road from the Crystarium, barely escaped with my life. I suppose we may have predicted this. Nightshade, huh? You mean you'll help? For free? Thank you. If I recall correctly, Nightshade is a local band of outlaws. I doubt they'll trouble us over much. No more than they already have by interrupting our relaxation at any rate. Come on, let's go cut our teeth on some bandits. Wow. Okay. All save our miscreant appear unharmed. Can you believe this? I don't even have anything worth stealing! Never fear, Nightshade ain't no match for the guard. Hey, it's Thaler. Fortunately, this one wasn't clever enough to bring support. These two have matters well in hand by the looks of it. I'll not forget this kindness. May we meet again. Is that you, milady? Don't tell me that we just deprived that poor fellow of the honor of being rescued by the Warrior of Darkness. We had no idea you were in the area. Fancy us meeting again so soon, eh? Well, I believe I even recognize your companion. Ah, yes, from the infirmary. You had a message for the Crystal Exarch, did you not? It's good to see you back on your feet, and on patrol no less. Oh, it's nothing as official as that. Strictly speaking, we're off duty. But as we had a free moment, we thought we'd give a few of the less traveled roads a look. The guard doesn't have enough hands to patrol them regularly, you see. That's admirable. There are few so devoted to their duty, in Lakeland or beyond. Well, we've been thinking about it for a while, and neither of us is satisfied with just seeing out our service. It feels like we could be doing more, like we should be doing more. It's all about having the will to help your fellow man and the resolve to see it through. I remember you, the excitable one. Sorry, my lady. I got a bit overexcited the other day. Couldn't get my words out. The name's Vonard, my lady. I'm with the Guard, but I don't just want to protect Lakeland. I want to protect the lot, just like the Warriors of Light. Oh dear. Sadly, our duties prevent us from venturing too far from our own little corner of Norvrant. What we'd really like to do is travel, to better ourselves and to go where the need is greatest. But everyone has to start somewhere, don't they? For now, if we can stop Nightshade from robbing the odd fisherman, then that's what we'll do. Well, well. Future heroes are the first, do you think? They want not for spirit. 'Tis but a pity they draw inspiration from so clouded a wellspring. Yet it availeth us not to fret in idleness. We must needs press on if we are to bring Elidibus' schemes to light. Oh boy. I mean, it is nice to see them wanting to help, but the reasoning... It pains me to think that men with such pure intent are being made to serve Ascian ends, however directly, but they're right, the people need heroes. Thus reminded of the urgency of your investigation, Urianger would press on. Though our respite was cut short, I dare say we are all eager to avail ourselves of such knowledge as the ruins may hold. Aye, and I doubt further contemplation of Elidibus' machinations will be conducive to relaxation. We may as well make for the Split Hall now. Where is that? Oh. All the way over and right, huh? Oh yeah, that's where Bismarck is gonna be. Hello, friends. You arrived rather early. Are you certain you did as you were told? Oh, I wouldn't dream of doing otherwise. We rested, didn't we, Foxy? Wink, wink. So how much of a respite did you actually enjoy? Half a moment's? Basically. What's keeping Bismarck? Surely it doesn't take this long to shake off a few loose stones. Look at all that fog. Perhaps we ought to have clarified what Bismarck meant by a short while. To his mind, our whole lives might as well be the blink of an eye. All are present, now we need but await Bismarck's coming. "'Tis time. Pray make ready." Analysis and Nider is now accessible. And we can, of course, join in a trust, but first we'll speak with everyone. Unlike Amarot, the ruins which we now seek are no illusion. There is no knowing what awaiteth below. We must hope that whatever slumbers in the depths will help to shed some light upon Elidibus' recent activities. What are we waiting for? Hey, I like to be thorough, Alice. I like to think my skills have improved in some small way since the last time we fought together. I won't let you down. Whether or not we find the knowledge we seek, we have a duty to stem the Benthos' aggression. Yulmore has only just begun to rebuild. We can't be certain that the Benthos are all we'll find down here. Stay alert. Alright. Well, it's time to head inside. This time, I think we'll hold off on Alphino and Alice. We'll take Urianger, Y'shtola, and Reen.
Here we go!
Because we haven't taken them in a while. Y'shtola and Urianger are quite relevant to what we're doing here, and, well, Reen, we just haven't taken her along for quite some time. So let's head into Anamnesis and Niter. Mayhap 'twas Bismarck with whom I ought have bargained. For heaven's sake.
Away with you!
Well, at the very least, our enemies are coming to us. All dead. Such ease of motion despite his size. He's truly a wonder. The force of it, 'twas nigh overwhelming. Here comes another. here we are. Our deepest gratitude, Great One. Thank you, Bismarck. And we come immediately to the first boss. We are fated to happen upon strange abominations, apparently. Well, knowing what we do about the ancients, never have I seen the like. These things probably came from their experiments. Hell, it could be a remnant of the final days. Ow! I was just too slow. Oh good, there's two of them now. Hey, don't hit Urianjo. Don't stand there. And soon it will be dead. And by soon I mean now. Some manner of harrowing, perhaps. Might similar creatures dwell beneath the seas of the source? Well, I hope not. Jesus. Some gear. And it's nothing we can use. But we will at least look at them. Oh, titties, that's not what I meant to do. What item level are they? 455. Hey, not terrible. Most of my gear is let them 450 to 490. But she's unmistakably of the ancients' design. Yeah, we can take a second pack, it'll be no problem, he says, jinxing himself. Looks like they're eating each other. One was already dead by the time I got here. Urianjo!
This is going to leave a mark.
Oh good, there's even more coming. Oh, they're here. The fish people we're here to kill. Oh, more of them. I believe we can't go any further. Sure try though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this door ain't gonna open until they're dead. Oh well. I guess that just means we need to die. Then we come now to a mini-boss. Visions of hell, attend to us now! Actually, no, it's not even a mini-boss.
Here we go!
shall protect you.
Oh. So that's not a tank buster, it's just to get the fuck out of the way. Ow. Fuck this guy. Down he goes. More shit that I can't use. Nothing to say about it, friends? Oh well. More of these guys. Oh yes, and they're summoning stuff. Because these are concept matrices, like we saw in Amarot. Where are you, friends? Why are you not here? Are you good, Oriange? You're gonna be able to heal me. I dare say he is. Get this fucking heavy off me.
I'll show you.
Alright, everything's fucking dead. Let's keep moving. This way, right? Yeah. Oh. More of you. Well, you can hang on a second. More materia that I simply couldn't care less for. Yeah. Was you fucking... Well, since we can't really AoE these guys, we'll just have to try our best to kill them as quickly as possible. We stopped one. That's good enough. Are you guys...
I will not hold back.
Alright, finally. God, that took forever. And we are at the final boss. You wanted to see what their females looked like. Well, you probably don't now. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Yonder queen standeth as more than symbol to her soldiers. Have caution. Your kind has never given us of its treasures willingly. Your lives will be no different. I do vaguely remember this fight.
I will not hold back. I will not hold back.
You know, I hit the button. The game does not respond. I don't like it when that happens. Alright, I think I let one get through. Oh well.
I shall protect you.
Well, thankfully, the boss is nearly dead. Just a little bit more HP, and we will have fried ourselves one more fish. Down she goes. You will never torment anyone with fish titties ever again. It is kind of a solemn thing, though. We basically doomed that tribe to extinction. But they overplayed their hand and suffered for it. What treasure? Nothing. Over and all, nothing we could use. Ishtola? 'Tis a boon we find this sanctum intact. It may at last turn our investigation, but I couldn't read it all. That was all of them, every last one. If there were more gods, they would be here by now. Come now, she was maniacal. Yeah, she was, but still, it's a shame.
This structure must have served an important function. And here are yet more crystals.
I too noted the crystal repository on the way. The Benthos seem to employ them in their spellcasting.
In such vessels did the ancients preserve concepts, ideal forms to be drawn upon in the act of creation. That so great an abundance should reside here lendeth credence to Ishtola's conclusion. This facility held great significance.
So, it was they who first summoned Hydaelyn.
Their discussion did seem to imply as much, yes. I cannot say I have ever heard of this Venar before.
For a certainty, Emet-Selch never uttered the name, speak though he did of the schism which Zodiark's advent wrought upon mankind. Some were of the viewpoint that his power must needs be restrained, and to that end did they call forth she who would serve as his shackles. We now know that it was this Venar to whom they looked for leadership.
And that this place, in all likelihood, served as their headquarters. The presence of such intimate records attests to that. I would hear what else they have to tell us. All of it. Did anyone see the source of the image? The device there? Then let us see what other secrets it holds.
What?
Forgive me, but did that not strongly imply that Elidibus sacrificed himself to become Zodiark's heart?
Not only that, but this Vana did it for Hydaelyn.
7 hells. Then who or what are we dealing with?
A lot of crazy implications in this. I had always assumed Elidibus to be of the same ilk as La Habrea and Emmett Silk, but if the real Elidibus sacrificed himself before the Sundering, it makes no sense. That this facility shared intimate ties with the Academia Nida may readily be discerned from the common element in their names. Based on mine observations, 'tis like that the forms housed here were conveyed unto the Academia only when required, and thence returned for safekeeping. Yet, such procedural minutiae are of largely academic interests, I concede. Tis unto the parties which did frequent these institutions that our thoughts should rightly turn, specifically the followers of Vena and the Convocation of 14. To say naught of the matter of Elidibus. And there I was thinking immortal was bad. Would someone explain to me how I'm meant to kill a being who doesn't technically exist? How do you think we might be able to activate the device again? I should like to hear how these discussions ended. Wouldn't we all? The device appears to activate via a form of ethereal attunement, not unlike an aetherite. Beyond that, I can say little for certain, save that we should take this opportunity to see what other records it contains. No response. Confound it. If I may, milady, the panel did informally emit a soft yet perceptible glow. That it doth so no longer may betoken the depletion of some essential energy within. Given how long it has lain dormant, I think it fortunate it functioned at all. That may be, but if we can't get it to work again, we'll be leaving with far more questions than we've answered. The white-robed emissary hath ever named himself Elidibus. Yet if the shade spoke true, Elidibus ceased to be ere even the Sundering came to pass. This calleth to mind a truth that Emet-Selch did once reveal in passing, that the names by which we know our foes are not those given to Ascians at birth. Rather, they are titles of office, afforded to individuals of merit at such times as the role becometh vacant. Perchance the Elidibus at Zodiac's heart and the emissary with whom we are acquainted be not one and the same, but a predecessor and successor. It's possible. If the previous Elidibus perished before the final days, the one we know now could be a survivor of the Sundering. And yet, something in that explanation rings false. I will remain for a time. I would not abandon my attempts to revive the device so soon. There is more to learn here, I can feel it. In matters of etherology, I know none as capable as thee. If there existeth a means to learn more, thou wilt surely find it. While thou art thus engaged, we shall attend to matters on the surface. That we will. And this place is now abandoned. Y'shtola should be fine. You may now enter an SS line with it. Okay, we can basically do a normal trust with it. We don't need to, though. Fresh air again. Isn't it a lovely thing? Does she really not mind working alone? Oh, Y'shtola will hardly even realize we were gone. Hopefully this will make the Benthos think twice about raiding the stores of their fellow Ondo again. Answers never did come to us tied neatly with a bow. We'll get to the bottom of things eventually. While it is true our findings have raised more questions than they have answered, it is not impossible that Y'shtola will gain access to additional records, and if nothing else, we have spared Yulmore from invasion. That's true. It's not like we did nothing. Can we but uncover Elidibus's true origins, we may yet come to understand his designs. To that end, Y'shtola must needs be afforded as much time as she doth require to complete her investigation. To the extent that such things are within our control, yes. Speaking of which, perhaps we might trouble the Exarch for news on his progress with the spirit vessel. He will no doubt wish to hear of our own discoveries as well, such as they are. That's true, we haven't seen Graha in a bit.
Dare I ask what's going on?
Ah, excellent timing. For me, in any case. We have a problem. The vast majority of those gathered here are presently in the employ of the Guard or else one of the facets, and no longer wish to be so. In principle, all are free to change vocation at any time, but a city does require a certain number of people in these positions if it is to continue to function. For the moment, I have asked them to postpone their resignation until such time as replacements can be found. As you may have surmised, we have the Warrior of Light to thank for this.
It's you! The Warrior of Darkness!
You understand, don't you? Someone's going to have to look after this place once you're gone. We just want to be ready to do our bit when the time comes.
And not only here, but everywhere. Which is why we've got to get out there and lend a hand to those in need. That's what you did, isn't it? Even if it was just little things at the start. You helped people.
People, chocobos, you name it.
And we're trying to do the same. We may have our sky back, but there's no shortage of people who still need help. If we follow in your footsteps, then I choose to believe we too can be heroes one day. Even warriors of light.
can't just go giving up what you're doing, though. People here need you.
What are we to say to that? We can hardly tell them they are mistaken. They seek but to do good, as you have.
But no more can we stand idly by and suffer a paragon's scheme to proceed unchallenged.
Oh, now what?
What's happening to the sky?
Wow, isn't that a familiar sight? Remember all the way back to our first episode, we saw something similar in a dream.
Wicked White. Oh no!
By the 12.
A star shower.
I hear a voice.
You and all? And why does it feel like it's inside my head?
Hear? Feel? Think?
I hear it.
Me too.
Did I not tell you, my friends? You are warriors of light! You're back! What you hear is the voice of light itself, and it has blessed you with its power. Welcome to the fold!
I'm a warrior of light.
I've been chosen?
Can it be?
Me, a hero.
Wait! The falling stars, were they your doing? And why do you need warriors of light?
What, am I to reveal my plans simply because you asked?
I mean, that's what most villains have done.
Nay, I think not. Though the stars, I acknowledge mine. A convenient illusion, apt to awaken what little is left of the power that once resided in your sundered souls.
Then why didn't it affect these guys?
That which you and yours call the echo. And an echo it is, of a symphony, but a fraction of what men in their completeness once possessed. Even those among you who tower over others in the gift have only the faintest trace of it. But though sundered and forgotten through death and mocking rebirth, it has persisted. A whisper of our past, burned into your very ether, along with the sight of our end. Through the rekindling of memory, I have awoken the ability, just as Hydaelyn is wont to do when she has need of new minions.
The Echo hath ever been thought a gift from Hydaelyn, a boon granted solely to her chosen. Yet thou wouldst claim she merely awakeneth the power that men should hearken unto? Her voice. Given the perceived simultaneity of her call and the awakening of her chosen's capacity to hear it, it is only natural that we thus attributed the source of the gift. Yet if, in truth, the Echo is a prerequisite for hearing her voice, one might surmise that her call never ceaseth, such that all who awaken to their innate gift might receive of the blessing of light at the self-same instant. In sooth, we bore witness to this but moments ago. At the sight of the star shower, full many in the crowd did speak of hearing a voice in their minds, did they not?
Just so. And whenever Hydaelyn has need of new servants, she is quick to pluck comets from the heavens or create illusions of the same.
Why then didst thou conjure this vision, full knowing that thine age-old foe would thus claim those awakened to the gift?
Foe? You must be mistaken. As you see, I am a warrior of light. And together with my comrades in arms, I shall save the world. Just like you.
Questions atop questions. Though it has been revealed, the Echo is not Hydaelyn's gift. It's something sleeping dormant within all of us. All she does is wake it up. It did remind me of it. Amarot, I mean. All the fear and the sadness. Unsettling though this is, I'm certain our friends in the Guard will use the Echo well. Or with good intentions, at least. I get the feeling it didn't affect these guys because they recognized it for some trickery. The guards did not. Though I like not what it portendeth, having been treated to so unambiguous a demonstration, I cannot well conclude aught but that the star showers are indeed instrumental in awakening the Echo. Yet we need not attribute such credence to all that Elidibus hath claimed, that he too seeketh the star's salvation for one. And there he goes again. Though I don't suppose he would have given us an honest answer about his history had he stayed. Probably not. He's not as forthcoming as Emmett Selk. The more Elidibus reveals, the less I understand, but that he has made a fine mess of things is plain. He's gone, then. I've managed to persuade a number of our would-be deserters to reconsider, or at least delay, their departure, but as many are deaf to my entreaties. Young Thaler and Vonard among them, I am sorry to say. They have quit the Guard. Nevertheless, I wish them well. Whatever Elidibus's plans for them may be, the pair have only ever had the best of intentions. One can hardly blame them for thinking themselves heroes elect, not after having been blessed with the Echo, and it's not as if they haven't shown the requisite spirit. I quite agree. Though the impetus for their sudden departure may have been words falsely spoken, the men and women in whose footsteps they would follow are heroes in truth, warriors of light, Ardbert, yourself most of all. And so I would ask a favor of you. Speak with them ere they embark on their journey, and furnish them with what wisdom you can. They've set off for the Amaro launch, but you should still be able to catch them if you leave now. Worth the effort, I'd say. If I recall correctly, Rauban took the time to usher you out into the wider world many moons ago. I think that comparison rather flatters Thaler and Vonard, but the point still stands. They would doubtless be greatly encouraged were the Warrior of Darkness herself to see them off. That's a good point. If thou art willing, I prithee go. Thou mayest safely leave the task of unfolding that which did transpire at a nemesis to us. Good. Let's go and make sure these guys don't get themselves killed. There they are. We're in Amarang? I mean, you know, around. You again? I mean, it's you, milady. Sorry, it's been a funny old day. You can be sure we'll take those words to heart. I still can't believe it. You coming all this way just to speak to us. I swear we won't let you down. As long as it helps someone, we'll do what needs doing out there, no matter how small. And when larger threats loom, we'll be ready to face them. You see if we aren't. Strike fast and true, for victory belongs to the bold. Rauban's own words. We'll be off then. Farewell, Warrior of Darkness, and thank you. A little overeager, but good man all the same. And a bit reminiscent of our own humble beginnings. Let's go and talk to Graha. Oh, by the way, I know I'm surprised I haven't said this already, but you have no idea how hard it was to stop myself from calling him Graha all this time before the reveal. Extremely difficult. You caused quite a stir when you set forth as the Flame General's newly anointed envoy, you know. Minfilia was delighted. The world is ever in need of heroes, she said. I take it they were suitably inspired. Yeah, it seemed that way. This land is our home, and it is we who must protect it. Even if he didn't believe a word he was saying, and it's all part of some terrible scheme, it's hard not to take his message to heart. That's what he depends on. Honestly, don't listen to all this prattle about the life-changing importance of your words to impressionable young heroes. You could nod mutely in their general direction and they'd still be inspired. Yeah, like you guys. Thou art returned, and at a most opportune time. We have but this moment concluded our account of all that came to pass in the deep. I was so deeply immersed in my research that I entirely failed to notice the star shower. Bugger. Thank you for making the effort. I'm certain your words will be a boon to them. While you were away, the others told me of your investigation. We have yet to discuss how to proceed, however. While your findings in Nemesis and Ida do raise important questions as to the identity of our adversary, we are no closer to discerning his design, nor do I know of any other potential avenue of investigation. for which reason we must needs trust to Y'shtola's ingenuity, and wait for her efforts to revive the Ancient's device to bear fruit. What if I were to attempt to follow the emissary? Elusive as he is, his plan compels him to court public attention. He shouldn't be impossible to find. Especially for one of your experience, it does seem worth the attempt. Then I'll come with you. Safety in numbers. In combat, perhaps, but where stealth is required, the opposite is true. Happily, I don't plan on getting myself caught, so you've no need to worry. Nor do I intend to vanish for moons on end. We still have the empty to attend to, don't we? Alright, then I look forward to your return. Then it sounds like the rest of us should avoid doing anything which might prompt Elidibus to look too closely at our movements. Insofar as it's possible, I recommend we limit our activities to the Crystarium. Speaking of which, Exarch, might I ask if you've made any progress with the spirit vessel? Of course. We are presently studying the principles underpinning memory transference and, I believe, nearing the requisite level of understanding. Less hearteningly, practical trials of transference methods suited for use with the vessel have yet to yield satisfactory results, to put it mildly. But there are still many promising possibilities we have yet to test. Indeed, though it may take some time yet, we are well on our way to a solution. And I shall not rest until one is found. Lena might have something to say about that. Though we are all grateful for thine unstinting efforts, thou needst not labor to the exclusion of all else. If it would serve to lighten thy burden, however little, I shall gladly offer mine assistance. Quite. I, for my part, will do what I can to ensure that the Crystarium continues to run smoothly in spite of recent disruptions. Then perhaps I could help. There must be something I can do, even if it's just guard duty. Thank you. All of you. I shall breathe easier for your assistance. Of course, on the evidence of the recent past, it will not be long before some new crisis arrives to throw our plans into disarray, at which time your services will be in particular demand. That being the case, perhaps you might take this opportunity to retire to your suite of dependents. Might be a good idea. Alright, let's have a quick word with everyone before we go. There is sure to be no shortage of potential heroes upon whose good nature Elidibus will try to prevail. The trick will be in anticipating which settlement he'll direct his attentions towards next. Want me to inform the citizens that the star shower was an illusion, do you think? They might sleep better for the knowledge that no damage was done. There's so much to be done and so little I can do to help, but you can count on me to play my part in the empty. Well, we'll be visiting you out there soon, actually. I will accompany my brother and make sure he doesn't get carried away. You will do as you're told and get some rest. Both of you. Graha. Honestly, he's a danger to himself. If I were Lena, I think I would have hit him over the head with a blunt object by now. At least then he'd lie down. One of these methods will work. It must. Of course I don't wish to worry Lena. She has more than enough to worry about already, but I swore that I would return you all home. Alright, fine. I will henceforth endeavor to take breaks when appropriate, while Lena is watching. You're adorable. Never fear, I too will continue to assist the Exarch to the best of my ability, and if that means casting the odd sleeping charm, so be it. Good. Knowing not whether Elidibus or our ever-waning connection to the source representeth the more pressing problem, we must needs attend to both, and risk solving neither. Yeah, that is a problem, isn't it? Well, between all of us, we should be able to do just fine. A pleasure as always, Mistress Games. I am relieved to see you were unharmed in the earlier commotion. Though if I may, you do look somewhat weary. I presume you'll be retiring to your suite. I sure will. Very good. Do let me know if there's anything you require. Let's get some rest. Strange that we won't have Ardbert visiting us here anymore. Mistress Games, it's Glynard from the Wandering Stairs. I apologize for calling so late. A friend of yours was asking after you. You may remember them from that business with the cardinal virtues. Oh wow. We could choose any number of them. Though I'm more interested in Ciela. As cool as Granson was. Good evening. I was in the XIV. I saw everything. That was Ardbert, and it was not. Twice now has he reappeared, calling the people to arms, speaking of heroes. I knew this day might come. Ardbert never did reappear as a virtue. But to see his flesh stolen by the selfsame Ascian that made mock of their sacrifice... I spent years searching for a means to redeem their legacy. His legacy. And in you, I found it. You slew the virtues, reclaimed the stars. You spoke the truth, and the people listened. When I heard our patrons speak of how the warriors of light had been their saviors all along, I thought at last, at long last. I was a fool. I cannot ask more of you, not after what you've given, but I must. Set him free. Lay him to rest with the others, in honor and triumph. I think in the beginning of the next episode, I'll go back and get footage of the conversations with everybody else too. But Ciella's is by far the most interesting, and I'm so glad I did that quest earlier. This is my first time seeing that conversation, because it's the first time I've actually had all of the role quests done. Meanwhile, in the Crystal Tower's umbilicus.
Foiled again. If I cannot imbue the infernal thing with my power via magical means, we may need to devise a way to infuse the vessel with my blood after all.
Art thou unwell?
Or perhaps a brief respite? It wouldn't do to overtax yourself.
I'm fine. And given to stubbornness, I'm afraid. Especially when I have a stake in the outcome.
You're working way too hard, Graha.
The dream again.
A recurring dream. They do so fascinate me. Might I trouble you for the details?
I have always dreamed of it. Fire falling from the heavens, and the city, nay, the whole world ablaze.
Indeed. Could Emmett Selk have found a way? Precious few possess memories of the final days.
The final days?
Why, yes. Admittedly, my knowledge is mostly second-hand, but if you are interested, I will gladly tell you the tale. The tale of the world's end.
Well, this new mysterious figure seems to know much of the Asians. Interesting. Well, I dare say that's enough mysteries for one episode. Like I said, in the next one, I'm going to get footage of speaking to all of our companions from the role quests. Ciella's was definitely the most telling, but the others are no less interesting, I'm sure. So, this episode has gone on a little bit long, and for that I apologize. We had a lot to cover. Hopefully the next one won't be quite as long. So, I'll see you in the next one, everyone. Take care until then. Bye.
Bye-bye.